my awareness of graffiti was just tags, roll calls, straights, that sort of thing. And then I remember the first time I walked through Combat Zone when I was probably, I think I would have been about 14 or 15 years old, and just this huge splash of colour, and all painted with tuxin and tana, and all these paints that I just didn't even know existed, pastel colours and stuff, and it was elaborate. They had backgrounds, and I could tell it was a level up from what we were all doing.
And I think it was really healthy. There's a lot of good graffiti happening. There's a lot of street bombing, a lot of fences getting tagged, a lot of shop fronts getting tagged, and it was just like, I guess when I think back on that time, it's just a perfect definition of a bombed up city.
So when I first started graffiti, which was approximately 15, 16 years ago, the scene was kind of extremely different, and it was predominantly, I would say, much more of a tagging and bombing scene, and people that, were doing killer pieces at the time were, a lot of that stuff was on trains, freights, on track sides, but, Auckland, New Zealand, the whole place was, plastered with graffiti, and everywhere you went, there was always graffiti.
The predominant style of Auckland was straights, and then if people did do a piece, it was usually a very simplistic kind of blocky style piece, kind of like gang blocks like they would see in LA. And then there was just a small group of people who were painting really elaborate, colourful pieces.
There is a resurgence of graffiti,
which is kind of different, and I'm seeing new pieces all the time from new people, so I'm just like, all right, I'm actually out of touch with it.
And I think a lot of the writers, there is actually quite a lot happening, but a lot of that stuff is getting buffed and it's getting painted out, and a lot of people are wanting to cover about that stuff. In terms of nationally around New Zealand, I think the scene is thriving.
It's not the best that I've seen the scene, but it doesn't mean that it's going to get better. And I think we just got to kind of remember that we come from a graffiti past. For all of us that started, we weren't street artists, and I don't really think we're street artists now. And it's kind of created like a bit of conflict between what's good graffiti and what's bad graffiti. Legal graffiti, illegal graffiti, and there's kind of just this huge dividance on the scene. As opposed to, I guess, and not to recall on history all the time, but I think when we were coming up, graffiti was graffiti, and you just did it all.
There's new names every week that I'm seeing, which is pretty cool. I haven't really seen it like that in a while. I definitely think the scene's back on the men's. I've seen a lot of good stuff, man. There's a lot of good stuff at the moment. There's some guys that have come out of nowhere that I'm just like, wow, they're pretty good. They'll burn me any day.
I think graph jams are really important for the graffiti scene here in New Zealand, because I think there's a lot of writers that they're quite undercover and they do their own thing, and that's cool. But I think that having moments where we can all come together and actually share some of the experience, meet some new people, new writers, learn some new techniques, and basically have the opportunity to connect with people that you've never connected before. That's really a beautiful thing, because recently for the Burning Bridges event, we had people coming all across New Zealand to attend this, and in any other setting you normally wouldn't be able to connect with all these different people. So being able to connect to writers from across New Zealand is a really good thing for the scene and helping it grow.
So Burning Bridges was first organised to create a lot of opportunities for the younger generation to come and have a paint and learn off anyone that they want.
It was really powerful to just have that many people spanning quite a few generations, all kind of in one place harmoniously, sort of down for the same cause.
The thing that stuck out for me was I didn't even know that there were that many graffiti writers in New Zealand. I saw a whole bunch of people turn up that I've never seen before, and I saw some really good graffiti come out of people that I've never heard of. And it's through events like that where you kind of realize that once again the community's bigger than you think it is.
It was a really cool idea to put on the tracks, and for a minute I was like, wow, this is actually happening, you know what I mean? But to be honest, it's like you need to really, really kind of rethink that aspect of it, because it takes away from what's really kind of powerful in that situation, is connecting people that don't currently have relationships. They just have an awareness of each other from photos on the internet, and it's really good. You can build some, very enduring, lifelong friendships that way. That's how like a lot of me and TMD met.
Overall, I think the event went really good in the sense that, so many people got to see the different styles and things happening within New Zealand graffiti, and, be aware that the scene is very active. There's lots of people out there painting and things are happening.